The slap of her palm on the dining table made everyone freeze. My mother has a way of filling a room, not with her size, but with her certainty. She stood at the head of the table, eyes sharp, voice lifted just enough to reach the neighbors if the window had been open. "You are wasting this family's money on a useless app." My husband, Deli, sat to my left. I felt him shift in his chair.
He did not look at me.
That small movement, that quiet turning away, landed harder than her words. My sister Temi stared at her plate. My mother's friend Ani Remy, who had come for a casual visit and ended up at dinner, pressed her lips together and looked at the wall that I had spent 4 months building FinPath, a budgeting app designed for young Nigerian workers managing multiple income streams. 4 months of late nights, skipped outings, careful research. For months of believing in something that nobody around me had asked to understand. My mother did not ask to understand it that evening either. "You think you are a tech person now? With whose money?" I looked at her. I felt the sharp reply rising in my throat. All the explanations, the data, the logic I had rehearsed 100 times alone in my room at midnight. I swallowed it. "Okay," I said quietly. She laughed. A short, dismissive sound. She thought she had already won. She was not finished. For the next several minutes, my mother built her case in front of everyone at that table. She listed the family contributions, school fees she had paid for my younger brother Kola, the shop rent she had covered during a difficult year, the money she had given Deli and me when we were newly married and struggling. Every sacrifice, named out loud. Every one of them accurate. "And now this one is using family resources to play with a phone application," she said, gesturing at me as if I were a demonstration. "At your age. With a child in this house." Auntie Remy made a soft sound that could have been sympathy or agreement. I could not tell which. Deli cleared his throat but said nothing. Then, almost imperceptibly, he nodded. A small dip of his chin that I am not sure he even noticed he made. Did I notice? IT was not a loud betrayal. It was the quiet kind, the kind that settles in your chest and stays there. My mother straightened her wrapper and looked at me directly. "Shut it down," she said. "Shut the whole thing down. This nonsense ends now." I kept my hands flat on the table and my face as still as I could manage. I did not agree. But I did not argue either, not yet. After dinner, the house went quiet the way it does after a storm. Not peaceful, just exhausted. Deli washed his plate and went to the bedroom without speaking to me. I heard the television turn on. A football match, from the sound of it. I stood at the kitchen sink and looked at the soap bubbles on my hands, and my mother found me there. "You heard what I said," she told me, in the lower voice she used when there was no audience. "I heard you," I replied. "Then we understand each other." I turned to face her. Her expression was firm, but also, if I looked carefully, slightly uncertain. Not about her position, about me. She was watching to see if I would crumble or erupt, but I did neither. "Give me a little time," I said. She studied me for a long moment. Then she made a small sound, not quite a laugh, but close. The sound of someone humoring a child who has asked for 1 more hour before bedtime. "How much time?" she asked. 1 month, I said. I do not know why I chose that number. It simply came out, clean and firm. She tilted her head. 1 month, she repeated, as if tasting the word.
"Fine.
1 month. And if nothing changes, this conversation will not be a conversation anymore." She left the kitchen, but I turned back to the sink and finished the dishes. My hands were steady. My mind was already calculating 1 month. 28 days, realistically. I had to make them count. I did not sleep much that night. Deli's breathing beside me was slow, and even long before midnight. I lay on my side of the bed and stared at the ceiling, listening to the generator hum 2 streets away. If my mother followed through, the financial support she provided, which covered Cola's school fees and contributed to our household expenses, would stop. That was not a small thing. Deli's salary from his accounting firm was stable but tight. My freelance writing work brought in irregular income. FinPath had cost us money. Not catastrophic amounts, but real ones. Developer tools, server fees, a small payment to a part-time coder named Ao who had helped me build the backend over 3 months. That money had come from a combination of my freelance savings and a contribution my mother had given us for household needs, which I had quietly redirected. She did not know that last part. Not specifically. But she suspected something. And Deli, I thought about his small nod at the table. I thought about the way he had walked to the bedroom alone. When I had first told him about FinPath 8 months ago, he had been cautious but supportive. If you believe in it, he had said, try it. But that was 8 months ago. Support, I was learning, had a shelf life. When results were slow, that I sat up quietly and opened my laptop, that I was completely alone in this. And that was the most clarifying feeling I had ever had. The app was not random. I want to be clear about that I had worked for 3 years as a junior budget analyst before leaving to freelance. In that time, I watched colleagues, smart, hardworking people, struggle constantly with managing money across multiple income sources. A salary here, a side business there, a rental income somewhere else. The existing budgeting apps were designed for simpler financial lives. One income, clear categories, Western assumptions. FinPath was different. It allowed users to input multiple income streams, set category-based spending limits, and receive alerts calibrated to their specific patterns. It had a feature I called the buffer tracker, a tool that predicted shortfalls 2 weeks before they happened, based on spending rhythm. That I had built the concept carefully. I had surveyed 43 people. I had studied 3 competing apps and noted exactly where they failed Nigerian users. The problem was not the idea. The problem was visibility. Nobody knew it existed. That night, sitting at my laptop with the house silent around me, I opened my email. There was a message from an address I did not recognize, a name I had never heard, with a subject line that read, * partnership opportunity, FinPath. * my heart jumped. I clicked it open and read it 3 times. Then I sat back and pressed my hands together under my chin. 1 month. And already, something was moving. That I whispered to my screen. You just need one chance. Then I went to sleep, still dressed, my laptop still open. The email was not what I had hoped. I reread it in the morning with clearer eyes. The sender, a company called Bridge Up Ventures, had written a template message that appeared to have gone to dozens of apps. The language was generic, the interest vague, and at the bottom, buried in the final paragraph, was a request for an upfront platform registration fee of 50,000 naira. To a scam. Or close enough to one. I closed the email. I sat at the kitchen table with my tea going cold and felt the drop, that specific disappointment of a hope that rises and falls within 24 hours. It was a familiar feeling by now, but it did not get easier. I did not hear my mother come in. She appeared in the kitchen doorway already dressed, ready for her shop. You were on that laptop again last night, she said. Not quite a question. Working, I said. She looked at me for a moment. Something moved in her expression, a flicker. Then she turned and called to Kola to hurry up for school. She had not heard the email. She had not seen my face fall. But as she passed through the kitchen, she smiled, brief, private, and I understood that she had somehow already sensed the morning's disappointment. That smile was the thing that steadied me. Not because it was kind. It was not. It steadied me because it reminded me, with perfect clarity, what I was working against. I opened FinPath's analytics dashboard and got back to work. By the end of the first week, the story had already traveled. My mother has a wide circle. She runs a fabric shop in Tejuosho Market and has been there for 20 years. Her customers are her friends. Her friends are her audience. I do not know exactly what she said or to whom, but within 7 days, I began receiving calls. My cousin Bisola called on a Wednesday afternoon with a voice full of careful concern. I heard things have been a bit rough for you. Financially. Things are fine, I said. Your mother mentioned the app. Things are fine, Bisola. A pause. Okay. I just wanted to check. You know, if you need anything. I do not need anything. But thank you. I ended the call and made a note in my journal. * Day 7. Narrative spreading. Mother's version is, I have failed already. * The note was not dramatic. It was strategic. I needed to track what people believed, so I could understand what I was quietly working against. 2 more cousins texted that week. A family friend named Mr. Odysseus sent a voice note saying he heard about my difficulties and offering to connect me with someone who is hiring entry-level staff. Entry-level. I had a degree and 7 years of work experience. I sent a polite reply. I did not explain myself. Explanations without results are just noise. I had learned that already. Delhi became quieter as the days passed, not cold, exactly. He still made tea in the mornings and left a cup on my desk without being asked. He still came home at reasonable hours. But the easy conversation we used to have about small things, neighbors, television, weekend plans, dried up like a stream in Harmattan. He stopped asking about FinPath. That was the clearest signal that I end the beginning. He used to ask, "How many users today? Did that feature work the way you planned?" He had a way of asking that felt invested, even when he did not fully understand the technical side. Now, when I worked at my laptop in the evenings, he would sit at the other end of the sitting room with his own phone, and we would exist in parallel silence. That on a Thursday evening in the second week, I was updating a feature when he came and stood near my desk. I looked up. "You know," he said slowly, "there are positions opening at Afrinvest. Budget analyst. It is a good firm." "I know Afrinvest," I said. "I can ask my colleague to pass along your CV." I looked at my husband, this man I had chosen, who had chosen me, who had once said, "If you believe in it, try it." I saw the fatigue in his face, the worry that had been building quietly behind his neutral expressions. "Delhi," I said gently, "give me the rest of the month." He nodded, but the nod felt like patience running out rather than confidence holding on. The second argument came on a Saturday. My mother had come over for lunch, a normal thing. She brought a pot of agussi soup and a conversation that started with Cola's school fees and ended, somehow, where it always seemed to end now. "You have been quiet about that app," she said. "I have been working," I said. "Working?" She repeated the word like it had a different meaning in her mouth. "Kem, at what point does a person accept that something is not working?" My name, Kem, in her voice at that angle was a signal. We were done with casual. "I have not accepted that," I said carefully, "because you are stubborn." She set down her spoon. "This has always been your problem. You take an idea and you hold it like it is a baby. You cannot see when to put it down. Or perhaps I know when something is worth holding. Childish fantasy," she said flatly. "That is what this is. A childish fantasy built on your family's money and your husband's patience." I felt the response gathering in my chest like pressure. Every fact, every number, every carefully researched decision I had made in the past 8 months wanted to burst out at once. I breathed. I looked at her. "No more explaining," I said quietly, to myself as much as to her. She looked confused by that. "What?" "Nothing," I said. "The soup is very good." From that moment, I made a decision. No more arguments. Only results. In the third week, I made a decision that frightened me. FinPath had been built on a freemium model, free to download, with a premium tier for advanced features. The premium tier had attracted almost no interest. The free version had modest, but stagnant numbers. About 230 downloads total, with perhaps 60 active users, 0.60 real humans using something I had built. That was not nothing. But it was not enough to be convincing that I had been thinking about a pivot for weeks. A complete change in how the app presented itself. Moving away from the generic budgeting app, framing and repositioning it specifically for Nigerian freelancers and gig workers. A narrower audience, but one with a sharper, more urgent need. IT meant rewriting a significant portion of the interface. It meant new onboarding text, restructured categories, a different marketing angle. It meant risking the 60 users I already had on an update they might not like. I stayed up for 2 nights doing it alone. AO was unavailable that week, and pushed the update on a Wednesday. Then I sat back and waited. For the first 4 hours, nothing happened. Then, at a little past 11 that night, the analytics dashboard showed a red notification. Critical error in the income stream mapping function. The app had crashed for new users trying to sign up. I stared at the screen. Then I put my head down on my desk. I did not sleep that night. I worked through the error code line by line. I sent 3 messages to AO even though it was past midnight. He responded at 6 in the morning, and together we spent 2 hours locating the problem. a conflict between the new onboarding flow and the existing database structure. BY 8:30. The crash was fixed. The update was stable. I sat back in my chair and looked at the ceiling. My eyes were burning. My neck was stiff. I had not eaten since the previous afternoon. Outside, I could hear the street waking up. A hawker, a motorcycle, children heading to school. I opened the analytics dashboard. And the hours that the app had been crashing. I had expected user numbers to drop, and they had slightly. But at 6:45 that morning, while AO and I were still working, one notification had appeared. A small green icon, .1 new user sign up. Someone had downloaded FinPath at 6:45 in the morning, during the window when the crash had just been repaired. I did not know who they were. I did not know how they had found it. But they had found it, and they had signed up, and they had stayed. I stared at that single green icon for a long moment. Then I stood up, went to the kitchen, and made myself a proper breakfast for the first time in days. .1 user. Real and small and completely enough for now. By Friday of that week, one had become 23. They came in slowly, 3 one day, 7 the next, a quiet trickle that felt more significant than the numbers suggested, because these were new users arriving after the pivot, arriving for a specifically repositioned product. I watched the analytics carefully. The average session time had increased. The drop-off rate, the percentage of users who downloaded and never returned, had decreased. These were not random downloads. These were people staying. That I said nothing at home. Deli passed my desk one evening, glanced at my screen, and said nothing either. He could see numbers, but he could not read what they meant, and I was not yet ready to explain. My mother came for her twice-weekly visit on Saturday morning. She sat in the sitting room with Deli and talked about the market, about Cola's upcoming exams, about a neighbor's wedding. Normal things. She did not ask about the AT1 point, she said, to no one in particular. Some things just run their course. I was in the kitchen making Zobo. I heard it clearly. I poured the Zobo slowly, watching the deep red liquid fill the jug. 23 users. Small.
Real.
Growing. I carried the tray out and served everyone pleasantly, and when my mother thanked me, I smiled. She thought I was retreating. I was not. I was simply conserving my energy for what mattered. In the 4th week, the final week of my mother's deadline, FinPath began moving differently. I had been sharing posts about the app quietly on 2 fintech-focused WhatsApp communities and 1 Twitter space for Nigerian freelancers. Not aggressive marketing, just consistent, useful content. Tips about managing irregular income. Short posts about the buffer tracker feature. Honest language that did not oversell. Downloads were now at 412 total. Daily active users had climbed to about 70. I told nobody. Doten, my friend from university, now working in product management in Lagos, was the only person who knew the real numbers. We spoke on the phone twice a week, and he had been tracking my progress with genuine interest. The retention rate is good, Nkem, he told me on a Thursday call. That is the number that matters most at this stage. People are coming back. I know, I said. What does your husband say? Nothing yet, I replied. I am not ready to show anyone yet. When will you be ready? I thought about it. When it speaks for itself, I said. 3 days after that call, a user whose display name was Urban Giganji left a review on the App Store. It was 4 paragraphs long. It described, in specific and personal detail, how the buffer tracker had helped her avoid a financial shortfall that would have meant missing her rent. She ended with, "Asterisk, this app understands how we actually live." Someone finally got it right. Asterisk, I read it 4 times. Then I saved it in 3 places. The review moved. Urban Giganji shared it in a large Twitter community for Nigerian freelancers, a community I had not yet reached directly. Within 48 hours, FinPath's store page had been shared 11 times in that community alone. The review thread gathered comments. People tagged others. Someone asked, asterisk, why have I never heard of this? Asterisk, my phone began vibrating in a new rhythm. Not calls, notifications. Download alerts, new user confirmations, review requests from the App Store. I was at my desk when it started.
I did not move for a long time.
I just watched the numbers climbing in the analytics dashboard, slowly at first, and then with the gathering speed of something that had finally found its slope. By the end of that 48-hour period, total downloads had passed 1,000.1,000 and I closed the laptop. I went to the window of our flat and looked at the street below. The bustle of an ordinary Lagos afternoon, people moving, going about things completely unaware. Somewhere out there, more than 1,000 people had chosen to put FinPath on their phones. I felt something in my chest that I had not felt in a very long time. Not triumph, not relief exactly. Something quieter, like the feeling of standing on ground you built yourself and finding that it holds that I had not told my mother. I had not told Delhi. I was not ready yet, but for the first time in months, I smiled, properly, privately, just for myself. The first real revenue came in on a Tuesday morning that I had set the premium tier at 1,500 naira per month, a deliberate price point, affordable for a working freelancer, but meaningful enough to signal value. As downloads climbed past 1,000, a portion of users began converting to premium. Small percentages, but real ones. The MY Bank app notification appeared at 9:43, a payment confirmed from the App Store processing system. Then another. Then 3 more over the course of that day. By evening, I had earned 11,200 naira. In one day. From an app I sat with that number for a long time. Not because it was life-changing, it was not yet, but because it was proof. Real, documented, transactional proof that a stranger had looked at what I built and decided it was worth paying for. That evening, Delhi came home and set his bag down and asked what was for dinner. I told him I had made rice and stew. He nodded and went to wash up. He passed my desk. He glanced at my screen. The analytics page was still open, numbers clearly visible. He stopped, he looked for a moment. He did not say anything. Then he went to the bathroom that I watched him go and turned back to my screen. He had seen the numbers. I had seen him see them. Neither of us had spoken. It was its own kind of conversation, unfinished but beginning. My mother decided to gather the family. I found out through Kola, who texted me on a Friday. Asterisk, Mummy says everyone should come Sunday for rice. She says she wants to talk about family matters. What is going on? Asterisk, I stared at my phone. Sunday. 2 days away. And Verdant Capital had not yet sent their follow-up. I called Doten. She is moving faster than I expected. I said. What does she want from Sunday? To shut it down publicly, I said. In front of the family. Make it a group decision, so I have no ground to stand on alone. And where are you with Verdant? Waiting. Do you have enough to show without the investor letter? I thought carefully. Yes, I said. The numbers stand on their own. Then go, Doten said. Do not let her own the room by default. I also texted Delhi that evening and told him there would be a family gathering Sunday and that I wanted him there beside me. I did not ask. I stated. He replied. I will be there. That night, Verdant Capital's follow-up arrived. Amara wrote that they were formally interested and wanted to schedule a term sheet discussion the following week. I saved the email. I printed it on plain paper and placed it in a folder with the analytics screenshots, the revenue records, and the store review from Urban Giganji. Sunday was coming. I was ready. Saturday night, Delhi and I stayed up late, not arguing, talking. The first real conversation we had managed in weeks. It started because I showed him the folder. I sat beside him at the kitchen table and went through each page, explaining what each number meant and why it mattered. He was quiet for a long time as he read. Then he looked at me and said, Nkem, I said you were embarrassing us. You said it. I confirmed. That was wrong of me. He held the papers carefully. I did not understand what you were building. I looked at the effort and saw the cost. I did not see what was growing. I had imagined this moment many times over the past weeks. I had imagined feeling triumphant. I had imagined a speech. Instead, sitting there in our small kitchen at nearly midnight, I felt something simpler, a quiet kind of sorrow for the weeks we had spent in parallel, and a quiet kind of relief that we were talking now. Why didn't you show me sooner, he asked. Because I needed to be sure, I said. I needed the results to be real before I asked you to believe in them. He nodded slowly. Then he placed his hand on the folder and said, Tomorrow, whatever happens, I am beside you. I looked at my husband. Thank you, I said. We went to sleep. For the first time in weeks, it felt like we were actually sharing a bed. Sunday came gray and humid, and I was up by 6. I worked for 2 hours, not from panic but from habit and from the steady calm that had become my operating mode. I checked the analytics one final time. Active users, 1,641. Revenue for the week, 62,000 naira. Growth rate, consistent, and I printed one more page. I placed it in the folder. Then I dressed and made tea and waited. Guests arrived from 11. Auntie Remy came first, then Bisola, then Uncle Tunji, my father's brother, who came to these things dutifully. Kola arrived from his student apartment, looking confused about why the gathering was happening. My mother had been there since morning, organizing food, moving with the busy energy of a woman who had a planned by noon. 12 people were in the sitting room and dining area. The jollof rice was out. Conversation moved in the easy, overlapping way of family gatherings. My mother waited until the plates were mostly finished. Then she stood. "I want us to have a family conversation," she announced, "about something that concerns this household." The room quieted. She looked at me, I looked back at her, my hands folded in my lap, my folder on the cushion beside me. My mother began to speak. She built her case carefully, in front of 12 people, relatives, family, friends, her inner circle. My mother laid out the situation as she understood it. A daughter-in-law using family resources for a digital project that had shown no clear results. A husband who had been patient but was quietly concerned. A deadline that had passed without resolution. "I am not here to attack anyone," she said, which was a phrase people use when they are doing exactly that. "I am here because I love this family and I believe we should make decisions together." Auntie Remy nodded. Bisola kept her eyes on her plate. Then Auntie Patience said, looking at me, "Nkem, is it true? Has nothing come of this app?" The room turned toward me. I reached beside me and picked up the folder. I opened it on my lap and looked at the first page. "I would like to show everyone something," I said, and my voice was level, not loud. There was no performance in it. I held up my phone so the nearest people could see the analytics screen, active users, growth curve, the shape of something real and climbing. "As of this morning," I said, "FinPath has 1,641 active users." Silenced, and my mother opened her mouth, then closed it. Uncle Tunji leaned forward slightly. Kola's eyebrows went up, and in that first silence, before she could laugh it off or redirect, I turned to the second page in my folder. I did not rush. I laid each piece of information down the way you place cards on a table, deliberately, with space between them so that people could absorb what they were seeing. The analytics page with the user numbers. The revenue record showing 62,000 naira in the most recent week alone. The email from Verdant Capital, printed in plain text, confirming formal investment interest and a term sheet discussion scheduled for the following week. And last, the review from Urban Giganji, printed and placed on top. 4 paragraphs from a real user, in real language, explaining how FinPath had changed her month. The sitting room was completely quiet. My mother stood at the front of the room with an expression I had never seen on her face. Not anger. Not dismissal. Something new, the look of a person recalculating. Uncle Tunji said quietly, "This is a real business." Auntie Remy said nothing. She was reading the investor email. My mother said after a long moment, "It is still a risk." But her voice had lost its certainty. The words came out smaller than usual. I looked at her steadily. "You called it a waste," I said, calm and clear. "But you never once asked what it was." The room held that sentence. Deli, sitting beside me, did not look away. I closed the folder. I did not say anything more. I did not need a speech or a final blow or a moment of visible victory. The numbers had already spoken. The investor email had spoken. The review from a woman managing her rent had spoken. I stood up, thanked everyone for coming, and went to make more tea. Behind me, the room began to murmur, quietly, slowly, in a new direction, and for the first time in months, I did not need to hear what they were saying.